Most people believe they're protecting themselves from being hurt, from being disappointed, from making the wrong move. But a lot of the time, they're protecting the very thing that's keeping them stuck. Not their circumstances, not other people. The version of themselves they refuse to let go of. The dependable one, the reasonable one, the strong one, the one who doesn't cause friction. The version that makes sense to everyone else, even when it no longer feels true to you. At some point, that version helped you survive. It helped you stay accepted. It helped you stay safe. It helped you hold things together. So of course you protect it. Letting it go feels reckless. But here's the part people don't like to admit. That version of you was built for a different chapter of your life, and you're still living by its rules. Growth doesn't usually fail because people don't know what to do. It fails because doing something different would require becoming someone unfamiliar. Because if you stop being that version, people might respond differently to you. They might expect less, or more, or something you're not prepared for. You might lose the identity that's been explaining your choices, so you stay where you are. You say things like, "That's just how I am. I've always been this way. I can't just change overnight." And those statements feel honest, but they're also convenient. They protect you from having to risk inconsistency. They protect you from being seen mid-change. They protect you from admitting that who you've been might not be who you're supposed to keep being. Here's something uncomfortable. The identity you keep defending is likely the reason you haven't changed. Not because it's bad, but because it's outdated. You're not tired because life is demanding. You're tired because you keep showing up as someone you no longer are. That takes energy. Pretending always does. Most people don't fear change itself. They fear what happens when their old story stops working. The story that explains why they stay, why they tolerate, why they wait. Growth disrupts identity before it ever changes behavior. That's why it feels threatening. You can feel this tension when it's happening. When you agree too quickly. When you default to being the reliable one. When you suppress an impulse because it doesn't match who you're known as. That's not maturity. That's survival. And survival isn't wrong, but it becomes a problem when it turns into a permanent strategy. So let me ask you something honestly. Who would you disappoint if you stopped being the version of you everyone expects? Because you don't outgrow people, patterns, or lives until you outgrow the identity that keeps you loyal to them. You don't need a spectacle. You don't need to announce anything. But you may need to loosen your grip on who you think you have to be. Because the version of you you're protecting might be protecting you from the very life you're meant to live. So the real question isn't, how do I change? It's, who would I become if I stopped pretending to be who I used to be?